Well, good morning. Today we're doing leak detection tips. And that's right, leak detection tips. Now, this is on page 195. Okay, I pulled it up on a PowerPoint here for you so you can follow along. You should have your book open and taking your lecture notes so you can study them and stuff. Now, both a split system that's new and has not been operating can be checked for leaks. So a new install or one that's been operating, both of them can be checked for leaks. The field installed portion of a new split system uses nitrogen to check for a leak. What we used to do is we would put nitrogen in the new system once we were done, because we wanted to run a vacuum and charge it, but first we had to make sure the new system we just installed. So we put nitrogen in, run the pressure up, and then watch it. Leave it for 30 minutes or so while we're putting up our tools and cleaning up in the attic. And guess what? Because what's the first thing you want to do after you've soldered in your line set? Now, you still got things to do with a new install, but the first thing you want to do is run a pressure test, get it under a vacuum. Why? Well, you're still in the attic. You may have the natural gas to hook up the furnace, to high voltage, to low voltage. None of that stuff should be done yet. The first thing you did was lay down the unit and do what? Hook up the coil with the line set the condensing unit, hook that up. Now you go do your duct work, your voltage, your gas, your drain pan. Why? Because it's running under a vacuum outside. Now, when you're done with all your work, you go outside, you take it off the vacuum once you hit below 500 microns, very important. And what? No, all you gotta do is charge your unit and you're done. But don't sit there and do the whole job, then go outside and put the unit on a vacuum and have to wait for an hour or a half or whatever it takes to get it down. No, that's the first thing you should do on the job to save yourself time. Been on many, many jobs. That's the way I was taught, and that's the way we did it. All right. It says on 197 that you have to be EPA certified as of November the 15th, 93, right? Full with refrigerant and systems. I got my card in my wallet somewhere. It's my health card. There's my, I don't know what the freak that is. And this is right here. No, never mind that. That's my lunch. What's this? I don't know. Somewhere in this new wallet I got for Christmas with all these crazy components. I mean, I can't keep up with this thing. Look at this crazy thing. I got my 1993 PA card from June 93 because that's when I got it. Okay. Now, to check a system with refrigerant in it, the technician should shut down the compressor, let the evaporator fan run, and that'll build up the low side pressure of the system. Why? Because it's the compressor suction pressure that's lowering the pressure in the evaporator coil. But if you turn the compressor off and just turn the blower wheel on, the room temperature will blow across the coil and it'll be building up pressure. And you could go look for the leak. When investigating a persistent leak, always do a visual check for oil with dust spots on it. We talked about that. Look for threaded connections, flare connections, and all that. You may want to isolate the system. Now on page 198 it says, look at gauge connection ports and see if they might have been leaking. Now when you use the bubble spray stuff, pay attention to this. Clean it up thoroughly. Especially if you use a soap product, because it can corrode the copper and start by turning it green. Paint surfaces can peel if you hit the side of the house. Carefully use a wet rag and clean it off. Technicians should not rush when trying to find a leak. It's a very slow process. It takes time for the instrument to respond. So check this out right here. The probe must be moved very slowly, about 1 inch every 2 seconds. 1 inch, 1, 2, 1, 2. All right, and that's how you look for that. Now, the next video we'll cover will be called repairing leaks.